everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Che. Shortly, you could just call me Jay, Amy, whichever you prefer. Today, I will be addressing about the local ethnic diversities and regional concept within Southeast Asia. Let's just dive in. First, it is about the introduction. Rims of many centers, a colony of many colonizers. Southeast Asia has traditionally been a heterogeneous area as it served as a cultural and political mashup. It has never been a coherent geographical area, as the term simply indicates. Geographically situated east of the Indian subcontinent and south of China, and being a collection of peninsulas and archipelago, Southeast Asia possesses a massive cultural variety, as it has been the center of interactions, commercial trade, and cultural exchanges for centuries. Although the region has historically called by many names before World War II, Southeast Asia, the term, was coined and fixed by the military government that reveals in Eurocentrism. We should now pose a critical question on the marking of this term to better understand the complexity of this region. Second, it is about the term Southeast Asia. After the Cold War, Southeast Asia, which used to remain extraordinarily fractured with hundreds of linguistic and religious divides, became politically organized in the form of agglomeration of nation-states. In addition, given its geostrategic importance, the area began to gain more attention than before because of the Cold War rivalry. As a result, the conflict between communism and the West further split the region, which had been ripped up by the imperialism during the colonial period. Later, in the face of polarization of world politics, countries in Southeast Asia formed the Association of Southeast Asians, also called as ASEANs, to consolidate the regional cohesion among non-communist countries of the area and set their goal as one Southeast Asia. The making of the term Southeast Asia is intertwined with its regional identity, South Asianness. At a glance, the region seems to be macroscopically united region to foreigners. However, microscopically, people living in the region did not identify themselves as Southeast Asian. Rather, they would call themselves by their national and cultural identities: Indonesians, Thai, Laotian, Burmese, Vietnamese, etc. Then this leads us to questions. Then what is the nature of Southeast Asianness? When we say Southeast Asia, does it truly exist? Is it a mere labeling or a self-identity which is agreed by the native? Is the term viable to use? Third, it is about regional identity. I argue that it is necessary to understand this matter carefully. Indeed, the regional labeling was just a labeling for the inhabitants of Southeast Asia. The regional identity was an artificial concept which was forced by the Western force and regional political organizations such as ASEANs. However, there exists a problem. Since the term has long existed in the area, it has created a unique image of the region intersecting with the locals. We cannot simply cancel and not use the term. This is all the more so, as ASEAN strives to conglomerate regions, making the ethnicities and their religious culture simultaneously homogeneous and heterogeneous. To clarify the matter, I suggest we classify the term Southeast Asia into three perspectives. In other words, I believe the term Southeast Asia could be understood by three frameworks. One is that it was artificially created by either the military government or the regional organization. Another is that the term is a panacea that can cover as diverse groups or characteristics as possible. Third, the last is that the term can cover a region bigger than the physical world. According to Amitav Acharya, ASEAN has advanced a greater sense of regional identity relatively than other nations, finding a way to coexist and even complement the national and regional identities. For the second framework, it is crucial to relate the cultural aspects with the regional concept, an artificial unifying force, as they tend to embrace more universalist Western ideas and make it into all of peace. Furthermore, as it strives to embed the idea of Asian values in the region's diverse culture. It stresses to make the heterogeneous ethnicities into a relatively homogeneous and pan-regional one, which is a false construct given the diversified approaches in the region. In this regard, I would delineate the problem of approaching Southeast Asia with one regional identity. But then, what is the alternative for Southeast Asia? We can't just abruptly stop using the term, as mentioned. I suggest we enrich the term by understanding the polyphonic nature of the term, Mikhail Bakhtin has done. For it is about ethnicities. The region is inundated with many religious ethnic groups, and this has brought the rise of ethnic conflicts in Southeast Asia, which has been induced by the tension between the assertion of cultural identity in the region vis-a-vis the forces of unification. Unification has a huge impact in the social, economical, and political aspect of the countries in the region. The impact that it caused in the social structure has reconfigured the society, among other things, unequal distribution of resources, and lopsided treatments on certain ethnic minor groups. This has created a stark division between the ethnic groups, making ethnic minorities resent and the ethnic majorities not willing to coexist. Ultimately, various ethnic groups were unable to conform to socio-cultural bonds and create social cleavages and instability in the region. 5, it is going to be about Chinese-Indonesian. Among 10 countries in Southeast Asia, I have examined the ethnic tensions and conflicts in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand, where they have distinct, exclusive national identities. Specifically in Indonesia, there were and are ongoing discriminatory actions against Chinese Indonesians, even more severe after the Forgotten Massacre in 1965. After the failed coup attempt during anti-communist purges, Chinese Indonesian became the target, the one to blame. More than 1,000 Chinese Indonesian residents of Batavia, modern-day Jakarta, were slaughtered during an Chinese pogrom in October 1740. And Chinese Indonesian women became victims of mass rapes and murder during the May 1988 Jakarta riots. In daily life, they were forced to change their names in Indonesian styles. Indeed, they have long been the victims of discrimination in Indonesia and paid a heavy price for just living in Indonesia. The stereotypes about Chinese Indonesian, mostly about the communist and unpatriotic, made it justifiable to discriminate against them. And this long existence of stereotypes even made Chinese Indonesians to defy their Chinese culture or identity, such as avoiding to wear Chinese costumes or putting up Chinese-themed decorations. And in some cases, they even felt apologetic for practicing their culture. They refrained from showing their identity as Chinese. They were never truly treated equally as other ethnic groups and accepted in the society. 6, it is about Dalit community. Moreover, in Malaysia, Chinese, again, and Malay ethnicities consist of a subset of the Malaysian Indian community called B40, and made up mainly of the Dalit community, an untouchable group in caste. They suffer from social and economic backwardness as a direct result of poverty exacerbated by the distinct subcultures emerging from the caste system, a serious handicap. They were unable to escape the vicious poverty circles. They are still trapped in a depressed and deprived community, persisting socially, politically, economically backward. The national institutional frameworks of Malaysia seem not to discriminate against the Dalits specifically. But in reality, they did not have the same political resonance nor the political status to be beneficiaries of affirmative actions. They were the first one to be neglected and marginalized. Furthermore, they were discriminated against in daily life. Intercaste marriages were forbidden, and financial hardships and danger to public health have increased with the spread of COVID-19. The continual reinscription of racial boundaries have deepened the ethnic divisions inevitable from being disadvantaged and discriminated against for its racial biomedical features. Caste system has become a hidden national agenda, drawing a stark line between the ethnicities, especially marginalizing B40 or Dalits. 7. It is about Patani Muslim. In Thailand, Patani Muslims has faced ethno-national existential threats due to the assimilationist policies imposed by the government. The Thai state attempted to forge a national culture based on the that of Central Thais and Theravada Buddhism. Their languages and the Islam religion were threatened as the government favored and tended to make a homogeneous society. Their history was farther omitted from the public school curriculum, their symbols were ignored, and the Buddhism was introduced as an official curriculum. This has made it increasingly difficult to pass down the ethnic unique and ancient past to new generations, taking away their past and deleting their future. The new generations would forget their roots by the artificially fabricated history by the central government. Furthermore, the government has imposed a biometric system to fight the insurgency in the southern border provinces by analyzing the DNA samples from crime scenes and finding the suspected one with a genetic match. But while collecting the DNA data, they were forced to collect the most data from the Patani Muslims. Patani Muslims were targeted as regarded as a potential criminal. They initially were assimilated and later treated as a criminal. The society never wished to embrace their ethnicity as who they are. Now it is the closing remarks. The aforementioned examples are a part of various ethnic divisions in Southeast Asia. But I could not generalize these ethnic divisions in Southeast Asia with these examples, but I just wanted to mention that there exist ethnic divisions in Southeast Asia. Being a home to several major religions and diverse ethnic groups, there have been several domestic separatist movements, ethnic strife, and extremist violence in Southeast Asia. Despite the cohesive dynamic regional identity imposed by the ASEAN today, it still fails to unify the nation, having internal divisions and constraints. And regional belonging could be undermined by a barring national identity. Southeast Asia displays a remarkable degree of political, cultural, and economical diversity. Being located at the crossroads of between China and India and bestriding the major sea lanes linking the Pacific and Indian Ocean, Southeast Asia has been exposed to external influences. This tempting geographic luck has made them suffer from colonialism and the Cold War, leading them to establish the regional organization ASEAN. With its establishment, it imagined the nations in the region to be a part of collective entity by drawing upon a shared historical heritage as well as identifying common goals in a contemporary setting. However, this imagination is hard to come true in reality. Lastly, these are the bibliography while writing the paper and making this video. And for the cookie video, it's just a bit of spoiler, but I'm going to upload videos about Southeast Asia very soon.